Hello, all you hardcores out there. How you doing? Russ here from Poker's Corner, the biggest goblin sport. I say the things on here that nobody dare say. Well, that's why you've tuned in. You've tuned in because you like a bit of controversy, like a bit of car crash TV. Right, here we go. A lot of talk from the powers that be regarding AJ and Jake Paul. A lot of people said it's not going to happen. Well, it looks like it's happening, doesn't it? What do I make of it all? Well, if you're an ex-champion and you're about making money and you're offered millions and millions, whether it's 25 million or 75 million, whatever, even if it were 1 million, it's just for an eight 3 minute rounds against some guy that's not area level. He wouldn't win an area cruiserweight belt in the UK, in the southern area or Midlands. He wouldn't win it. He wouldn't win an area belt at cruiserweight. He wouldn't win one at light heavyweight or heavyweight in the UK. Now, that's where we're at. Eddie Hills has done it before with Ngannou. He slagged Fury off for that. They went and did it. Now they're doing Jake Paul. Fury will probably have a gimme fight now, but it looks like it's happening. Will it be a choreographed or will Joshua take a dive? We don't know. Will he sell a loss like Mike Tyson? Who cares? I care because they're ruining sport, aren't they? They're dragging it down to gutter, really, aren't they? And they can't help themselves, can they? It's like just pure greed, isn't it? Embarrassing to see Juggiers Oliver on Talk Sport when asked if Anthony Joshua was chinny. He's saying at what level? If any heavyweight in the world from area level upwards, it's Joshua. He's going to go in it. If you're fighting at heavyweight, there's not much difference between an area level champion's power and a world champion's power. There's been world champions in the past who can't punch for toffee. So it's all about having an all round game. So is Anthony Joshua chinny? Yeah, he's chinny. He's chinny. All right. He's been down loads of times, hasn't he? He's 10 times. They missed one of them into a bar fight. Fury's been down 8 times. So don't talk to me about these people not being chinny. David Price, how many times did David Price get knocked out? He was chinny after his first knockout. Look how many times Joshua's been knocked out, but look how many times he's been down on floor. He's been down on floor more than Big Pricey or Big Truck. So why can't we call Anthony Joshua chinny? Eddie Hills, the Iceman from Billy Ricky, 7-0, 5 by way of course. Eddie Hills, for years said David Price, oh, he's chinny. Well, what's your man? You were saying he's best heavyweight in the world after he beat Ngannou, Eddie. In his second fight, Ngannou. Do me a favour. So Juggiers Oliver, roll out Joshua's arsehole. Uh, what do I think to AJ training with Team Usyk? I thought my good pal Terry Chappendama called it correctly. It's embarrassing. You don't go to your rivals to get them to train you, do you? Your rivals trainer. It's a bit weak, if you ask me. Weak, but is it overthinking at its worst? Yeah, people keep saying Joshua's an overthinker and he likes to soak it all up like a sponge. No, I don't call it that. I call it Joshua's got no arsehole and he's scared to death if he's in a fight where he thinks he might lose. He was like that before Ruiz fight, before Vladimir fight, before the John Coffey fight. So it is what it is. I just think he's naturally a nervous guy. Uh, Commercially, will they be wheeling Joshua out in a few years from now? You know, when he's 40. Well, he's 37 next, isn't he? Will they? Yeah, they could wheel him out if he were 32 wins and 8 losses. They'd still be wheeling him out. They repackage him like a Derek Chisora. We'll come to that in a bit, but they'll repackage him like a Derek Chisora. He's always in exciting fights. But is there a difference between AJ and Jake Paul? Yeah, there's a difference in height, in weight, in ability, in experience in the ring. But one thing they are both very, 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 very similar on. They're both greedy cunts. That's the bottom line. Both greedy for your money. Boxing fans. They don't fight enough as it is, and when they do, they're having fights that we don't want to see. We don't want to see this. We wanted to see Joshua Fury for years. We wanted to see Joshua Wilder for years. We wanted to see Joshua Lawrence Okolie, Joshua David Price, Joshua Lewis Ortiz. We haven't seen them, have we? We want to see Fury in other fights, and they've just not happened, have they? Do you know why? Because AJ and Jake Paul are greedy, and Fury's greedy as well. I mean, look at Fury's piss poor CV. He's got 4 wins over champions, 2 over Wilder, 1 over Vladimir, pushing 40-year-old, and 1 over an old man who were a cruiserweight back in the day. They dug him up to fight at heavyweight. That's Fury's CV. Joshua's has not done not any better either. He's got 6 wins over champions, and your Povetkins and your Pulevs, they were regular champions. Ruiz done it, my fat man. Parker were a paper champion. That were Fury's old belt. And Vladimir, they dug up after 18 months. So 4 of the 6 are shocking, aren't they? Really? His wins. I know he got a win over Ruiz, didn't he? But come on. He put loads of weight on him. He was fat as a pig. So the CBs are poor. Is Eddie Hill's killing boxing, Porky? Oh, yeah. You know he is. They're going to cash in what they can, aren't they? When did AJ's bubble burst, Russell? People calling him Russell now. Usually, people, when they comment that, they're usually after something. When did his bubble burst? In my opinion, the AJ bubble burst when he fought Vladimir, who was nearly a few months off his 42nd birthday. Like I said, 18-month on the settee, out the game. He might have been ticking over it, Jim, but he won't fight fit, worry. He got dropped off him, but he didn't have enough in tank to finish him off. So, in my opinion, that's when the Anthony Joshua bubble burst. That's when it burst. People are saying it burst when he couldn't get Joseph Parker out there because he knocked everybody out, didn't he? Everybody until he got in ring with Joseph Parker. No, I don't personally think that. I think Joseph Parker was the stinkinator then, and he's been carefully matched since he started with Andy Lee, and he's still the stinkinator. Joseph Parker's like a guy who fights at range, doesn't he? A lot fights at range, and then half an armor as well. He's always like out of range. He's comes in, does a little bit of work, and he goes missing. Admires his work, holds a lot, and he's not for me. And that fight was a stinker. So it is what it is, and Joseph Parker's still a stinker. So, and he's just tested dirty for sniff, hasn't he? Sniffhead. So let's get him run out at sport. So it is what it is. Is AJ ever going to win a belt again, Porky? No, I don't think he wins a world title again. All roads lead to undisputed. No, they don't. His last title win with Pulev, an old man in 2020. That's a long time ago. We're 2026 next month. So it is what it is. Darren Matchroom Company Man Barker saying on his channel, YouTube, that Fury AJ is finally agreed. How many times have we heard that? No, they're saying it's finally agreed, but how many times have we heard it? We hear it every 10, 12 months. It's agreed, it's done. AJ's got to fight Jake Paul this month. Fury's going to want to have a tick of a fight. They've not fought in a year, a pair of them. So, is Fury going to have a tick of a fight? Well, I hope so. I hope it's Wardley. I think Fury couldn't keep Wardley off him for 12 rounds. At some point, Wardley will land on him and it'll be good night Vienna. That's how I look at it. Will Fury fight again, Porky? That's the other side of the coin. Yeah, I think Fury will fight again. His ego's too big and he won't be able to leave money on the table. Not the kind of money that they're making. I don't personally think so. No. No, but how can they sell Fury and AJ to us? How could they do that? Well, we've got two shot fighters for starters, haven't we? Two shot men, right? Two shot men that have had it. Now, Fury's legs have gone. We all know that herky jerky style that he had, where coming in, there were lots of feints, lots of jabs, and keeping people at range, and then going for walks and switching to southpaw. All that he doesn't do that no more, does he? Do you know why? Does he not fit? Your legs have gone. All caught up with him. Having 11, 12 months off in between each fight, it's not good, is it? And retiring so you can go out and party and do what you want. Not good. It's caught up with him. So it is what it is, isn't it? But he's retired 7 times, and it's become boring now, hasn't it? Every night, every time he wants to ring the dinner bell, he expects people to give him wheelbarrows full of money, and I don't personally think that the fans are buying into Fury like they used to do. How he's going to sell himself this time, I don't know. He's just been flogged twice by Usyk, and he's gone missing. So, but one thing they'll do, the Furies, they like to repeat things, don't they? Repeat, 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 repeat. Just repeat. Just it's the same old model. It works every time, and people fall for it, don't they? Do you know why? Because Furies are clever, aren't they? They have these YouTubers in the pocket. They all have an in-house guy that they go to, don't they? All of them. Huey and his old man do it. Tyson and his old man do it. They know how to curry favours with media. If you go up against them, they ban you, don't they? Well, Bricktop and Tyson banned Talksport for a while. They've banned other YouTubers, haven't they, for asking difficult questions. So it's a tired old format, but they'll use the same format to sell it, saying that Fury's taking it serious now and he's never been punching as hard and stronger, faster, quicker than a speeding bullet, and he's gone vegan. He might even go vegan this time. I mean, they've tried every other. They've told us every other lie, haven't they? They'll be eating meat all the way through camp, but they might just go vegan or vegetarian, whatever they call it. You know, them people with no identity that go vegan. So it is what it is. But he's retired 7 times since he beat Vladimir. It's but when were Fury's last best win? You say the second Wilder fight, wouldn't you? With his last best win. The third one, he ended up on his arse a few times, didn't he? And he's been on his arse now. Is it 8 times? He's had 8 count. So defensive genius, Jeff Powell were calling him one of the top guys ever in the history of boxing, a defensive genius. Defensive geniuses don't hit the deck, do they? 8 times out of 30 odd fights. That's how I look at it. Is it 30 odd 40 fights or something? So that's how I look at it. Defensive geniuses don't hit the deck that many times. Frotch were only down twice, and he was supposed to have had no defense. It is what it is. Calzaghe were down 4 times. He was supposed to be a fantastic defense. Fury's been down 8 times. Joshua 9 in history books, but technically it's 10 because the referee missed one in the John Coffey fight. But what's happening with Big John Coffey? Hey, what's happening with Big John? Hey, what's he doing all day? Sat in Tony Sims's eating cornbread. We don't know, but it is what it is. When were AJ's last best win? Well, it's Vladimir, isn't it? Vladimir 2017, April. So, AJ's approaching 37 now. Fury's coming up to 38. They've overkilled it, haven't they, really? So, Jake Paul is Joshua's. Is it 13th, 14th fight since Vladimir in 9 years? So, Not a lot of fights, has it? And like I said, Jake Paul and Ngannou, your Pulev Povetkins, them sort of guys, Franklin's, Elenius's, and Otto Wallins. They're gimme fights, aren't they? They're gimme. He's had no but gimme fights, Joshua, and he's like I've said before, and I'll say it again. And sometimes I can repeat myself, and it's like a entire old record, isn't it? But Joshua's been spoon fed, really, hasn't he? He's been spoon fed since Vladimir put hands on him. Vladimir touched him up, and since then he's been spoon fed. 9 years of being spoon fed. Absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. And who's Fury's best win in recent times? Well, his last title win was 2022. Derek Chisora, the third Derek Chisora fight. Before that, it was Dylan Gate. He's only mandatory. Good old WBC. I only handed him one mandatory, didn't they? So 2026, next month, Fury's last title win were Derek Chisora, Derek War Chisora, an old man in a trilogy. And not one YouTuber put it on Bricktop or Fury about that fight. Not one YouTuber. Eh? Why you needed to fight him, I don't know. Derek Chisora, somebody beat twice comfortably. I will do it again. Nobody's going to question us. We're Queensbury, aren't we? And like I said, we're 2026 next month. Fury, 2022. Chisora, who's shite before him, White. Joshua, Pulev, 2020. So the 5, 6 year out of the game, aren't they? It's over 5 years since Joshua's been at the top table, and that was Pulev, an old man. And it's over 3 years since Fury's last title win, and that was Chisora before that White. I mean, is it 2020 since Wilder's for the first one, 2021 since the second one. So the 5, 6 year from the best, aren't they? Really, from dining at the top table and beating good guys. There you go. But we're not allowed to say it, are we? Fury Usyk 3, does it happen? I'm not so sure, really. I think Usyk beat him comfortably twice. Why does he need to beat Fury again? I don't know. That man seems to think that Fury would want that fight because his ego's that big. So we'll see, but he's not got a cat in hell's chance of beating Usyk. Uh, just a quick one while we're at it. Simon sent me this in. Dalton Smith's opponent. Looks like that fight is going to go ahead. They've got some rule, the sanctioning body, and we know what sanctioning body it is. It's crap in it. It's absolute crap in it. So, least said about that sanctioning body, the better. But good luck to Dalton Smith. But how on earth that fight's going on, I don't know. That organisation make it up as they go along. Uh, Big Elmer, Big Oath. What next? I don't really know. What's next for Big Elmer? Big Oath. But what I do know is I see him getting filled in by some plumber from Poland who should be in with Big Max, some plumber guy. That's what I see happening. But how would they sell him then if he kept getting beat? Would they keep wheeling him out to us? Well, yeah, because he's already come out and done an interview saying, look, I'm learning on the job. I'm always in exciting fights. And his dad's there going, he's got courage and he's durable in his game. Look, once you go from being an area champion and you're shouting and bawling about winning a British, then you start saying, well, I'm always in exciting fights. His game is durable. He's exciting. Once you start trying to repackage us like Rhino, oh, he's always in good fights, or Derek Chisora, it means you're on the slide. It means you're marketable. Like Rhino's marketable. Derek Chisora is. Big Elmer, Big Oath. He's marketable, aren't they? So they're going to keep repackaging them, aren't they? Whereas if it were Joe Bloggs who's not marketable and he'd had a couple of losses, there you go. He'd be on his way. Eddie Hearn would just mute him on WhatsApp like he does with fighters normally. He mutes you when he's not interested in you, then he unmutes you in fight week. It's the nature of the beast. He's a busy man, isn't he? So, but it is what it is. But Big Elmer, Big Oath. I don't see him doing anything in the sport except piling money up and chatting a load of shit with his fat dad in interviews. They know how to milk it in an interview. They put tears on, they get all family there, they get everybody in picture, photo bombing and all that. They're selling us a load of shit. But nobody's going to say a word, are they? So it's about entertainment, Toogs. That's what they come out with. It's about entertainment and entertaining the fans and being in exciting fights and showing courage, being durable and game. Yeah. Big Elmer, big oath, the end. Angel Hernandez on Talksport explaining the Big Freeze loss. It's Big Freeze. Big Freeze against Big Elmer. Big oath. I see Big Freeze lighting him up. So Angel Hernandez is coming out saying he takes full responsibility for the Big Freeze loss. That to me says he's on the back foot. A bit like Don Charles when he come out, started explaining himself because if Big Freeze kicks Angel Hernandez into touch, so he's left Joshua and he's left Big Freeze. Where's he go now? Food banks with Don Charles. Pop, pop, bang. So there you go. Will boxer-sized Ben Davidson come out and explain his role in Pat McCormack's loss to Conor Walker? You know, Pat McCormack trains at the Ben Davidson Performance Centre, but he didn't perform on the night, did he? There you go. Big Meech, aka Anthony Joshua, he's left the Ben Davidson Performance Centre as well because he didn't perform in the John Coffey fight, did he really? Lee Wood weren't performing, but he got out of jail, didn't he? You know what I mean? So Lee Wood, the guy that were missing 20 months. But hey ho, nobody's saying he tested dirty. Nobody would be allowed to anyway because they all sign non-disclosures, don't they? A bit like the Dennis McCann situation. They're playing a game of show and tell. They're telling us everything, him and his advisor, but you're showing me nothing. Just like Crusher Ben. He was telling us everything about 274-page dossiers. But it showed us nothing. Nothing. Didn't show me anything. Two-time cheat. Dennis McCann's a one-time cheat. They've not proved anything. How can a B sample be dirty and contaminated, but not the fucking A sample? It's the same piss. You piss in a cup and they put it into two tubes. How can that be? They're splitting hairs. That's all they've done, really, split hairs. Dennis McCann, he might be a nice kid, but we have what's known as strict liability, Dennis. It's in your system. Explain it. What's the point in strict liability if these fighters are just going to go around the houses with these top lawyers? I don't know. It's a bit like that Nick Freeman, isn't it? We're getting everybody off speeding tickets, wasn't it? Back in the day, if you were a footballer, you'd speed at 60 mile an hour in a 40, and he'd try and tell magistrates, no, that didn't happen. The speed gun or the Gatso camera's wrong. And they break it down and show what it late to be serviced every 6 months and blah, blah, blah. They just baffle people with more work and more adjournments. In the end, it wears you down. It's been going on for years in boxing. Dylan White, Joe Parker's going to try it. I mean, Spencer Brown for on the foil. Spencer Brown, who's come from nowhere in boxing, except piggybacking on John Fury's back to get to Tyson. Spencer Brown's coming out talking. I've known Joe Parker years. He's never taken cocaine. Why are you with Joe Parker 24 hours a day? Are you? Hey, no, you're not. Same as Flex. He's not with them three that tested dirty on his watch 24 hours a day, is he? So it is what it is. TKV Rhino for British. Do you want it, Porky? I think I covered this the other day. Well, yeah, I want Rhino to win a British title. He's from Donny, isn't he? Does he deserve it? No, he don't. When was his last win? Big Elmer, big oath, knocked him out. A rugby player. I've just seen him against the plumber, Big Elmer. The new repackaged Big Elmer is absolute garbage, isn't it? That's Rhino's best win in last 6 years. So, do you deserve a British title on back of that? No. Who deserves it? I want to see David Adelaide and TKV on BBC, but if they can get Rhino in with TKV, why not? But he's going to need a win, isn't he? So, be watching for Rhino picking up an 8-rounder or a 6-rounder in Feb. And then Eddie Hill's trying to make that fight. But if Ben Shalom, aka Adrian Mole, won't let TKV on DAZN, I don't see Eddie getting that fight. So I see Rhino having to go on BBC, and Adrian Mole will know that. So here's some fights we're going to ask you about. Crusher against Garcia. Well, Crusher's been bumped up to number one on it, WBC, but they're bent, aren't they? We be crooks. I don't think that happens. If it does, Garcia smashes him up. Crusher against Haney. Haney schools him. Crusher against Barrios. I don't see that happening. Crusher against Boots Ennis. He'll not fight him. He'll shut his pants. He'll get lit up. Crusher against Eubank Free at £168. No. Crusher against Crocker. He's already said no because of rehydration. £10 rehydration clause with IBF. Conor Walker against Crusher. I'll not take that fight, not a big enough name. Eubank Billy Joe Saunders. Could have see that happening now. Billy Joe will never get that weight off in a month for Sundays. Eubank could take that fight though in a heartbeat, but Billy Joe couldn't do 168. Ben Whittaker, is he all hype, Russell? People keep calling me Russell. No, it's Porky. Don't call me Russell. I don't like that. Yeah, well, Ben Whittaker's hype for me. He's not beat anybody with a heartbeat yet. Let's see him in with somebody like Dan Aziz, Craig Richards, Ezra Taylor, Willie Hutchinson. Hughie Fury, what next? Not really interested. When your last 8 fights have been against men averaging out at 423 on the ranking all the way across. If you're fighting them sort of caliber of guys and for 8 fights on the trot, where are you heading in boxing? It simply means that the promoters don't want to work with you because how can a guy that's been a British champion and fight for a world title have 8 wins on the trot and he's not even in shot window? Well, how can that be? Rhino had an handful of fights with Dennis and got back in mixed, didn't he? Huey's had 8 now, and still the big boys don't want to work with him. So he's stuck with GMB, and so what do I see happening there? I don't see him getting a big fight. I see Bricktop freezing him out. That's the word. But good luck to Huey. He's a nice kid. The WBC stripping Crawford Porky. What do you think? Covered it over day. I think the shithousers. I'm glad Crawford's not paying them, but look at this is how I look at it, right? You've used the WBC to sell the fight and you agreed to pay them, and now you're not paying them. So just pay them the same as the other sanctioning bodies. Send them that as a goodwill gesture. Don't give them more than rest, just give them the same. But if not, or don't give them it. But who cares? Does it not count now as an undisputed fight because that belt? I don't know, but Bricktop's agreeing with WBC. Well, he's going to do because he's going to get Shiraz in there for a vacant belt in a division nobody gives a fuck about, really. So how would Shiraz have done against Carl Froch? He would have got put on button moon. Yeah, they got been cut down like cheese, honestly. J.O. Patir and Hills Porks. What do you think? Well, he's not really commercially viable for Eddie, is he? Eddie's like a bit of a gimmicky promoter now, isn't he? A bit like Misfits. A bit like Bam Bam Rodriguez. He's not, is he? Bivol's not, are they? They're not. They just get on with it, them sort of people, don't they? But I think he's a fantastic fighter. Let him clean up at cruiserweight before he goes up to heavyweight. Don't keep pressuring him, Eddie. But Eddie will work with him again, but they'd have to work for brass buttons. So I see him going to Turkey and moving up to heavyweight, Opatia. Uh, Manny Pacquiao, 6 year out Porky, and then getting the Barriers fight. That's old news, Roger, really, to be honest. But that's the WBC for you. That shows you how bad they are. I mean, they only give Fury one mandatory, didn't they? They bumped Crusher Ben up. He's 4 year out at ring as a welterweight. He's in at number one. Manny's 6 year out at game, and he just comes back and fights for the title. It's bad, isn't it? They've had loads of champion emeralds. We all remember Canelo fighting for having the WBC middleweight belt that were Marvin Hagler's, but making everybody boil down to 155. That for me was shocking, really. So that's why we call them We Be Crooks. So, Porky, what did you think to Adrian Mole's BBC show? I've already covered that the other day. People asking me questions days after. I didn't think it was that brilliant, but his budget would have been a lot less than on Sky, wasn't it really? I'm more bothered about the fights and the production, really. I thought the fight were all right. I thought Big Freeze would have knocked him out early like Tete. He didn't. I think Big Freeze needs to reset himself now and get a new trainer and go again. Get one local to you. Save having to go pay hotels and all that, won't it? Is Adrian Mole on his way out? Same person asks. We'll see, won't we? But I personally think that they made it hard for him, Bricktop and Eddie Hills. But I hope he ain't on his way out, but I think he could be. So, okie dokie. There you go. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. We're back tonight at 8 o'clock with a two-parter with Liam. Okie dokie. Go on, peace out. Max, don't text me in the morning like that again, mate. You wake me up. You buffoon. Pop, pop, bang. Peace